How's it going, everybody? Happy Monday. We caught some crazy cold weather this weekend. Hopefully everybody is staying warm. I'm 3 jackets deep currently. I don't do the cold very well, as I have mentioned before, but things are heating up here at Mallett. It's warming me up and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So let's get right into it. Now, as always, $500 off your Mallett building if you fall into one of these categories. Teachers and educators, military personnel, first responders, and healthcare workers. We appreciate all that you do, and we just want to say thank you. And one of those ways we can do that is by offering you $500 off your next Mallett building. So this is just our way again of saying thank you, because we feel you serve the community, so we want to give back to you just like you give to our community. Now, speaking of money off, $1,000 off your elite or signature building when you comment cash on a video just like this one. And it's going to give you $1,000 off your elite or signature building. It does not apply to specials or promotional prices, you guys, only base price buildings. However, it's $1,000 off, and that's some extra cash, especially here in the holidays. That's very helpful. Now, where's Mallett? We are in 80 locations this week, just getting started on Monday. We have 60 in Louisiana, 19 in Texas, and 1 in Mississippi. Things are moving along. Happy Monday, Mr. Tim. Good to see you. Now, like I said, 60 jobs going on in Louisiana. Check out this. All these little pin drops all over the state, you guys, all the way from Shreveport to Ruston to New Orleans, Lake Charles. We are all over. We have gutters, concrete, plumbing, inspections, materials on the ground ready to be built, forming going on, buildings in construction and control joints finishing off the build. Amazing, amazing week. Mr. Tim, I don't know if we'll be doing the weekend review moving forward. It may just be on a here and there basis. However, we're going to pack as much awesome content Monday through Thursday as we can, and hopefully that'll set you up good for a nice 3-day weekend, even if it doesn't involve us here on Friday. But stay tuned. We'll be making announcements on that coming up if things do happen to be on Friday. Sometimes we just have a lot to say. So that's what Friday is going to be for moving on forward. I missed the weekend review as well. It's nice to catch up. But going forward, we're just going to be cramming all of that into the week as usual. And like I say, grab your pen and paper. But moving right along to Texas, again, 19 jobs. Starting to fill in a little more, you guys. Moving all over the place. Houston's got a few more, a lot more towards the Port Arthur area. Here we have forms, concrete, inspections, control joints, buildings in construction and on the ground all over this eastern part of Texas. Super excited to see that. Very happy there. Now, specials and promotions, you guys. We're in December, and you know what that means if you've been here for any episode this month. We have the Christmas Rival Neighborhood Special going on. We're super excited about this one because for $16,999, you can get a 20 by 40 by 12 building. And look how great this looks. We tweaked it a little for some Christmas lights and whatnot, but it's a beautiful building, 20 by 40. Now, this is a Christmas rival building, which means it is going to be our building that we've created to match the competitors and what they are putting out, as so we can also match those low prices as well. That being said, what does it include? 29 gauge metal, 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 trusses that are going to be common flat trusses, 130 mile-an-hour wind rating. We're not going to have the Mallett cable lock system that begins in the Mallett Classic series. You're going to have the posts that go straight into the dirt or gravel, no post protectors. You're going to have 3,000 PSI concrete, 2x12 headers, 2-year workmanship warranty, and number 2 untreated generic lumber, you guys. And all of that together gets you a building built by Mallett, but not built to the typical Mallett Classic, Signature, or Elite over-engineered standards that we live by here at Mallett. We believe, why stop when you can make it as great as you possibly can? Mr. Darrell has talked about that before. We don't just stop at the bare minimum. Mr. Lee's always looking to see how far we can go to make the buildings that much better, and that is what we put our name behind on the Mallett tier buildings. But we understand budget is sometimes the big considering factor, so we created the Rival series to match those budget conscious decisions here, and we just love having this as an option, you guys, very much across the board at this point now. So if you want the top tier Mallett buildings, we have those, but if you're needing a budget friendly option, we have that for you now too. And speaking of, we have another part of the Christmas Rival series. It is going to be a 20 by 50 by 12, And again, same specs, and on top of all of that, it is built by the Mallett crew, who I might say are the best builders in the country. And for 20 by 50 by 12, you're gonna get $20,999. It's gonna get you this beautiful rival, you guys. $29.99, that's a Christmas special if I say so myself right there. But perfect for the subdivision, perfect for the neighborhoods. We're willing to work with the HOA to make sure this fits in any yard that the land can hold. And give us a call if you have any questions with the Christmas rival, 337-214-0428. We'd love to have a building specialist talk with you guys and get this on your Christmas list. Now, the 5 red flags, these things to consider before making your choice of not just a builder, but in this case the builder, but in everything in life. You know, we want to make sure that you are educated and properly prepared to make those decisions on who to build with. Talk more about that in a little bit when we get to our featured ambassadors later this week. But 5 red flags, you guys. As always, this is not to throw shade or talk trash. It is simply to inform and educate. So, red flag number 1, years in business. Check how long they've been around at the Secretary of State website. You want to make sure, first off, they are a legal business. Second, it's nice to know how long they've been in business. Most businesses don't make it past the 3 to 5 year mark. You don't want to be left with the warranty that that outlasted the business and they can't honor. Here at Mallett, we've been around for 27 years and we're very proud to say that. We're pushing for 30 and then 30 more after that. Can't wait to be a part of that. But Secretary of State website is where you find years in business. Now, the State Licensing Board for Contractors, or the LSLBC, is where you find company licensure, you guys. You want to make sure those legal businesses are licensed to do contracting work, because that's a big no-no as well if they're doing work without one. And in the same breath, on the same website, you can check for contractor violations. Here at Mallett, in 27 years, we have 0 contractor violations, and we're very proud of that, and we plan to keep that streak going because we do things by the books and we do things properly. We also do things with a license. So if you want to make sure the people you're working with are following the rules, you guys, because trust me, if they break the law once, they'll break the law a second time, and you may be caught in the crossfire, and we don't want that happening to you. So check that out at the LSLBC website. Also, you can check out reviews on the BBB and Google, because you shouldn't just trust me standing up here saying all these nice things about us, because that's me. What you should trust is me plus the 685 plus individuals who have chosen to leave a review on either the BBB, which we are A+ rated on, or Google. And altogether we have a 4.8 star review rating out of 685 plus reviews, you guys. That's incredible in my personal and professional opinion, but I love seeing what everyone has to say. It just shows us the process that we talk about is proven time and time again with all the builds, you guys. Love seeing this. Check it out yourself. A lot of people can't say they have any reviews, let alone 685. So check them out. Go read the good, go read the bad, make your own informed decision, and then give us a call if you have any questions. We'd love to talk about that. And we'd also love for you to come check out the contractors facility. Here at Mallett, we have a phenomenal facility. We have a huge truss plant. We're building an even larger roll form plant. We have the gutter operation. We have a packing plant. We have a storage area for all the copious amounts of lumber that we purchase. We have tons of facility space that we are utilizing here. We want to show you how your building is prepped and what goes into it before it's shipped and put on that delivered and on-site category that you saw earlier on Where's Mallett. On top of all that, as cool as that is, when you come visit us at the facility, you get to meet everyone involved. If you're here on a Monday, you get to meet Mr. Darrell. If you're here any other day, everyone else is still here. You can see the designers, you can see the building specialists, you can meet Mr. Lee, you can meet everyone involved, the people in scheduling, the people in the maintenance crew who will be pouring your concrete. Everyone in the process you can shake hands, say hello to, and just get involved with. Put a face to the name and know who's going to be working on your building. To me, that's a huge peace of mind and a very, very big green flag, if I had to say. So visit the facility. A lot of people can't offer that, but you can see where all the trusses are made here in-house. If you're here at the right time, you can see one coming off the rollers and getting stamped. It's a super cool process. A little loud, but it's part of the process. Make sure your building is as firm as possible. Now, why Mallett? We talked about the Rival Series and what that is, what that means, what it involves. But like I said, we don't just want to stop there here at Mallett. We always want to go above and beyond. So what we told you is kind of the industry standard in our area. Mallett goes above and beyond. As I said, we're going to have 26 gauge metal standard across all buildings. We're going to have a 5-on-12 roof pitch, 2x8 scissor trusses. All trusses are going to be third-party inspected to ensure quality and consistency. We're also going to have a 170 mile an hour wind load rating on the roof system with those 2x8 trusses, the cable lock system. You're going to have the 2x12 headers. All these things are going to come together to make a phenomenally strong roof system. And if something were to happen to that, which I highly doubt, that cable lock system is going to hold that building down. It's going to lock it to the concrete pad, going to lock it down. That building's going to have as much uplift control as we can engineer, and it's going to make sure nothing happens to your building, even in the event of a malfunction of a window, a door, anything like that. On top of that, we're going to have concrete under every post, so your posts aren't just sitting in the ground or dirt, and they're not going to just be sinking weirdly. They're not going to have any direct contact with the soil. It's going to go straight to the dirt. You're going to have 2x12 headers. You're going to have 4,000 PSI concrete. That is also going to be the level of the concrete under the post. You're going to have skirt board guards for ground protection. 4-year workmanship warranty starts off on the Mallett Classic. #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber throughout the building, because if you're going to be the #1 builder, you may as well use the #1 lumber. We're also going to have our in-house engineers. You're going to meet Mr. Daryl here soon. If you haven't already, he warned us, I should say, that he came prepared with jokes. So get ready and be prepared for that one. Now, limited time offer. We brought it back for December, you guys. This one did so well. There were so many calls and inquiries about this building. The Cajun Oasis Classic is back for this month only, finishing out 2025 with that. 30x50x12 for only $49,999. What's included? I'm glad you asked. Insulation, insulation, an electrical package, climate control package, including a 5-ton wall-mounted unit that you can see here. Now that electrical package and 5-ton unit come in at a $16,000 value that is included in the price of this building. You could even ask about spray foam if that's something you are interested in. Now, again, all of that in a 30x50x12 for $49,999. This is truly as close to turnkey as you can possibly get. Still a building, you're gonna have to put some sheetrock on it if you wanna make it more like a house, but this thing is perfect for a she shed, he shed, game room, guys area, separate little workshop, whatever you wanna use it for. This thing is perfect. You get the keys and it is ready to be heated, cooled, and it is insulated, just ready to take on all the crazy weather we've been having lately. And if this isn't exactly your cup of tea, we have the Cajun Oasis Elite. All the same features, $16,000 value, except for $59,999. And why is the price different? Because this is an Elite package. It's gonna, as you can see, first off, have some wainscoting as an option. You're also gonna have a 145 mile an hour wind load rating on the building. And you're gonna have a bunch of other additional features that come in the Elite. If you're interested on that, just comment Elite and we can go ahead and get you the comparison chart between the Classic and the Elite so you can have that side by side yourself. But phenomenal value for an even better building. Love seeing it. Now, the Mallett Ambassador Club. This is the club built by you, for you guys. It is growing every day. We're getting new ambassadors all the time. And that's thanks to individuals like you who started off as people looking for someone to build a building, then you chose Mallett, became a customer and a friend of the business, and then you chose to go a step further and refer your friends and family to us as well, and then allowed us to work with you to use your building essentially as a spotlight and highlight of just what kind of work we can do here. And we just want to say thank you so much to all of you who are a part of our Ambassador Club. Like I said, cool stuff coming with that this week for our new Ambassador Spotlight. Get ready. I think you're going to enjoy this one. It's been a lot of fun so far, so stay tuned for that. Now, if you want to be a part of the Ambassador Club, you had to have purchased a building from Mallett. So if you haven't, maybe you want to change that, put us on your Christmas list. Maybe Santa will bring you a Mallett building. Who knows? If you're lucky, maybe so. But if not, we appreciate you anyway. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Mallett Ambassador Club. If you have any questions, comment Ambassador, we'll get you that information. Now, that is it for my portion. We're gonna bring up Mr. Daryl, who's gonna talk about unit conversions and why we should care about them.
I'm Darryl Fussell, the engineer here at Mallett, and I'm going to talk about something that's kind of, I guess what you'd call geeky. So I wore my geek engineer glasses. I wear these glasses to help with the light of the computer, because what do they call blue light? I don't know why they're called blue light, but they're orange. But anyway, they really seem to help, because I tend to stare at the computer for many hours during the week. Before I get started with that, I'd promised to have some bad Christmas jokes. And I have over 20 jokes to share with you. I have 2 weeks to do it in, because I got this Monday and then I got next Monday. So I'm going to give you 10 today. So, what do you get if you cross a snowman and a dog? Frostbite. Okay? And then what do you get when you cross a snowman with a vampire? Frostbite. Okay? How did Joseph and Mary weigh baby Jesus at birth? They had a weigh in a manger. Get it? Okay, moving right along. What's an elf's favorite musical genre? Rap. Okay. What do you call Santa when he takes a break? Santa Paws. Why did the elf go to school? To improve his alphabet. Okay, what do you call an old snowman? Okay, this one takes a little bit of science. Water. What is green, covered in Christmas lights and Christmas bulbs, and goes ribbit? A mistletoe. Mistletoe. Okay. What is every parent's favorite Christmas song? Silent Night. Yes, you can understand that if you're a parent. And then the favorite of the group, what do you call a snowman with a six-pack? An abdominal snowman. All right, all that was free of charge. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about units. Units of measurement, and this, the reason I thought about this was Mr. Brent Ferguson. He sent me an email that he'd received from his brother, who's in the construction business, and in the email it says that manufacturers test based on pressures rather than wind speed, because of the many factors on just how wind speed interacts with the building, okay? And so that got me thinking, because, you got miles per hour, which everybody knows about because they drive cars, okay? And then you got and then an engineer doesn't do miles per hour. We do everything in pounds per square feet that we convert to pounds per linear foot. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, the jokes are over, so I'm going to turn it off. Mary's leaving. These units, they all have a very practical purpose, and I can share some of that with you. Like, if you see this package of cookies, you'd say, well, what's that got to do with units? Well, there's 30 cookies in a pack. And, if you just, depending on who you are, what kind of person you are, when you get that package of cookies, you may say, I could have a party with 15 people, and if you have 2 cookies per person, see that's a unit, then I could invite 15 people. Or if you're another kind of person, you could say, if I have 1 cookie a day, this will last me 30 days. Or if you're another kind of person, and you say, if I eat 10 an hour, in 3 hours, they'll be gone. So, see, units, you use units. And then another way that you're familiar with units is, yards and inches, because you measure things. Some people measure things more than others. Obviously, contractors and engineers measure things all the time. And depending on what you're doing, we measure things to the 1/2 inch, or to the 1/4 inch, to the 1/8 inch, to the 1/16 of an inch, or 32nd of an inch. Now, all of us do some cooking, and we use tablespoons and cups and pints and quarts and gallons and ounces and pounds. And that's an old scale. I don't know if a lot of you are like, what in the world is that? That's actually a scale. And then I have this chart that I found that gives all kinds of conversions. So 1 inch is 25.4 millimeters. And of course, a lot of people don't care about millimeters. I am lucky not to have to ever deal with that. So 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 mile is 5,280 feet, or 1,760 yards. A league is 3 miles. I did not know that. And then it goes on and on and on. And then 1 square foot is 144 square inches, and 1 square yard is 9 square feet, and it just goes on and on and on. And then, when you're cooking, you got to remember that a teaspoon is TSP, and a tablespoon is TBSP. Now, you say, well, what's the big deal with that? Well, I don't know how many of you like to make cookies, but cookies have baking powder in it. And if you happen to put 1 tablespoon of baking powder instead of 1 teaspoon of baking powder, your cookies will be nasty, okay? So that's why it matters. So units have a purpose. And I never can remember this part that, 1 quart is 2 pints, 1 gallon is 4 quarts, so 1 gallon is 8 pints. And I don't know, these are old. I don't know if we have anybody listening that's really, really old, but my dad talks about this. A peck and a bushel. A peck is 2 gallons, and a bushel is 4 pecks. And that's from our agrarian society that we don't have anymore. But anyway, the units go on and on. And then I have another list of stuff that gives the unit weights for all these things that I deal with. And so now, where does all this, what's the point of all this besides me just talking? Well, here's the point. This is where it gets down to the nitty-gritty, where I live in the design world. So this is a chart that's from ASC 716. And this is where we get that conversion between miles per hour and a design pressure. So let's just take one for example, a wind speed of 130 miles per hour gives you a horizontal pressure in the range of 37 to 24 pounds per square foot, okay? And so that's how you get that conversion. There's no straightforward formula that gives you that conversion. It's a table that's developed, and the table is based on formulas that have a lot of variables in them that is developed by ASC 716, and that's what we use. Okay, so if you keep that number 24 to 37 and for 130 miles an hour, and then of course you're gonna that's not going to be the final number. It could be a lot. It could be less, depending on where you are on the building. If you're at the corner of the building, it's a lot more, and so. But anyway, so now this pounds per square foot is that's the pressure that's pushing on the building, and that's pushing and pulling on the components of the building. So like this window, the windows that we use, they have a positive design pressure of 60 pounds per square foot and a negative design pressure of 60 pounds per square foot. Now, so that far exceeds the pounds per square foot that we're going to find for 130, 140, 150 miles an hour. Even all the way down, you have to go all the way to 170, and I see some 50s there. So this tells you that the windows that we use by American Window Manufacturing in Houston, Texas, that's a good window. And if it's installed properly, it will give you the design wind load, and your windows won't blow out during a hurricane. And then, let's see, what happened to my clicker? Oh, there it goes. Okay, so the doors that we use, depending on the type of door, we have numbers in the ones that have glass have lower ratings, obviously, but one that doesn't have glass here, a 6'8" outswing door has a rating of 55 pounds per square foot, plus or minus. So there again. And then the garage doors, the higher, the bigger the door, the lower the load. And so if you start here with a 8-foot door, and you're in the 58 to 66 range, and then it goes all the way down. And so anyway, that shows you that we check these things. Now, the Texas windstorm group that we have to submit plans for when we provide jobs on the coast of Texas, we have to submit the data for these doors and windows to show that we're using the proper materials, and so we do that. So anyway, so I hope that wasn't too boring. Hope you struggled through that, but now you can understand how we go from miles per hour to pounds per square foot, and how we end up designing the parts and pieces of our buildings to far exceed the design requirements. All right, I will bring you 10 more jokes, whether you want them or not, next week, and I'll bring another, hopefully more exciting topic than today's, but this was very informative to me. See y'all later.